Could alien life actually exist right now? In March 2026, scientists at Cornell University did something that sounds simple, but took decades to achieve. They went through every single planet we've ever discovered, all 6,100 of them, and asked one question. Which ones could actually have life right now? Not which ones are interesting. Not which ones are worth studying. Which ones could have life today, while you're watching this? They narrowed 6,100 planets down to 45, and what they found changes everything about how we think about our place in the universe. This is the story of the 5 most likely planets to have alien life, and why the answer to number 1 might be the most unsettling thing you've ever heard. Before we get to the list, let's talk about what scientists were actually looking for. Because this wasn't guesswork. The researchers used data from the European Space Agency's Gaia mission and NASA's Exoplanet Archive. They applied one primary filter, the habitable zone. But they went further than that. They specifically looked for rocky planets, not gas giants. Because life as we know it needs a solid surface. Something to hold on to, something to evolve on. Out of 6,100 planets, only 45 made the cut. Here's what's fascinating about that number. We've been searching for exoplanets since 1992. Over 30 years of looking. Thousands of candidates. And the list of genuinely potentially habitable rocky worlds comes down to 45. That's either incredibly encouraging or incredibly sobering depending on how you look at it. Let's start with number 5. Kepler 186f. This planet holds a historic title. It was the first Earth-sized planet ever confirmed in a habitable zone around another star. It orbits a red dwarf star in the constellation Cygnus, about 500 light-years from Earth. That's far. In human terms, incomprehensibly far, but in cosmic terms, it's practically next door. What makes Kepler 186f compelling isn't just its size or its location, it's the combination. Earth-sized, rocky, in the habitable zone, orbiting a stable star. Scientists called it Earth's cousin. The problem is we've never been able to look at it closely enough to detect an atmosphere. The James Webb Space Telescope has been prioritizing closer targets, but Kepler 186f remains on the list, quietly waiting, as one of the first places we should point our most powerful telescopes when we get the chance. Number 4. TOI 715b. If Kepler 186f is the historic discovery, TOI 715b is the current obsession. Located about 137 light-years from Earth, TOI 715b is a rocky super-Earth, slightly larger than our planet. What makes it stand out from hundreds of other candidates is one critical factor. Its star is small and dim. That sounds like a disadvantage. But for planet hunters, it's actually perfect. When a planet passes in front of a small, dim star, the contrast is higher, which means they can detect an atmosphere. Or the absence of one. The James Webb Space Telescope is actively observing TOI 715b right now. Things like oxygen, methane, water vapor in specific combinations. We don't have results yet. But the fact that Webb is pointing at it right now as you watch this tells you everything about how seriously scientists take this one. Number 3, Proxima Centauri b. This one is different from everything else on this list. Not because of what it is, but because of where it is. Proxima Centauri b orbits Proxima Centauri, the nearest star to our sun, the closest stellar neighbor we have. Just 4.2 light-years away. That number might sound large. But in the context of a universe that is 93 billion light-years across, 4.2 light-years is the cosmic equivalent of the house next door. Scientists have been debating Proxima Centauri b since its discovery in 2016. The planet sits in the habitable zone. It's rocky. It's the right size. The concerns are real. Proxima Centauri is a red dwarf. That occasionally fires off powerful solar flares that could strip away a planet's atmosphere over time. Whether Proxima b has survived that long enough to develop life is still an open question. But here's what makes it unique on this list. It's close enough that some scientists have seriously proposed sending a spacecraft there within our lifetime. Not a human mission, a tiny probe accelerated to a fraction of the speed of light by laser arrays. The Breakthrough Starshot initiative has been working on exactly this. We could, in theory, have actual data from the surface of another potentially habitable world within 50 years. Not images from a telescope, actual close-up data. If there's life next door, we might know about it in our lifetime. Number 2, TRAPPIST-1e. This is the one that scientists talk about when they're being honest about where they think life is most likely to be found. The TRAPPIST-1 system was discovered in 2017 and immediately became the most studied planetary system outside our own. Here's why. 7 planets, all rocky, all Earth-sized, orbiting a single small red dwarf star about 40 light years away. 4 of those 7 planets sit in the habitable zone simultaneously. 4 potentially habitable worlds around one star. Nothing like it has ever been found before. TRAPPIST-1e is considered the crown jewel. It sits in the middle of the habitable zone, the sweet spot. It receives roughly the same amount of energy from its star as Earth. Its size and density suggest a rocky composition, similar to Earth. The James Webb Space Telescope has been studying the TRAPPIST-1 system extensively. Results so far have been mixed. Some planets in the system appear to have lost their atmospheres, but TRAPPIST-1e hasn't been fully characterized yet. What scientists keep coming back to is the odds. 4 potentially habitable planets around one star. If life emerged once in that system, the chances of it spreading or independently evolving on multiple worlds goes up dramatically. This system, 40 light years away, might not just have one planet with life. It might have several. And now, number 1. Cornell University published their list of 45. Researchers identified TRAPPIST-1e as the best candidate. Webb is watching TOI 715b. Proxima Centauri b is close enough to visit. And yet, here's the truth that sits underneath all of it. We have found 45 rocky planets in habitable zones. We have been broadcasting radio signals for over 100 years. We have been actively listening for signals from space since the 1960s. Not one of these 45 planets. This is the Fermi paradox in its most concrete form. We now have an actual list. Actual planets, actual candidates with actual coordinates. And from all of them, silence. The 3 explanations scientists keep returning to. They're too far away and their signals haven't reached us yet. They're there, but not broadcasting in ways we can detect. Or something prevents advanced civilizations from ever reaching the point of communication. That last one is called the Great Filter. And the terrifying question is whether it's behind us, something humanity already survived, or ahead of us, something we haven't faced yet. 45 planets that could have life, right now, today, and we can't get a single one of them to answer. Think about that the next time you look up at the night sky. The universe is not empty. It just isn't talking to us. And we still don't know why. If this changed how you see the night sky, subscribe. I post new space mysteries every week. The next one might be the one that keeps you up all night.